Well, my apologies. I was going to have a visual for the inspiration, but at the last minute, I was going to say my printer went haywire printing the agendas, but actually Larry didn't pay attention to the way he sent the agendas to the printer. So these ones are correct. So I forgot my visual, but here's the way it looks. It is actually a poster that shows the cycles of the moon, and the message is no matter what phase the moon is in, the lesson is, the moon teaches me that no matter what phase I'm in, I'm whole. So no matter what you see, whether you're crescent or whether you may even feel like you're like fully eclipsed, you're still whole. The shadow's going away. There's another phase coming out. You're coming out of whatever that situation is. And that's one of the things, I have a home office, I have a bunch of things like that posted up for me to see every day, because the frame of mind that we address things in, everything, especially early in the day, has a lot to do with how we carry out the day. And how we carry out our meetings and all of that stuff, right? So, think about that. No matter where you are, if your moon is full, that's great. I had a crescent moon partly today, and now full moon by the time I finally got the lender to send out the closing disclosure. So, we're going to settlement on Monday. Great. The first speech is going to be a shorter speech, 2 to 3 minutes. And of course, when I sent this to the printer this time, I didn't print out this speech description. But it's from Innovative Pathways, Innovative Planning, Manage Projects Successfully, 2 to 3 minutes. Gerry.
Doesn't stop until you address the audience. So it's fine. Okay. You don't think we have a membership problem? I say that because every time I've said, you know what, I think we might have a membership problem, I've heard, it's that time of year. I've been VPE for about 7 months, and that was when I was able to start keeping track of our membership and how many people are doing what. And for 7 months, I've heard it's that time of year. Let me break down the numbers for you. Over the last 7 months, actually throughout 2019, in fact, we have 20 members who have given speeches. 20. Let's say that represents our active membership. We also have about 3 members who I would consider active because they regularly come and they sign up for roles, but they haven't necessarily given a speech. Easy math. That's 23 active members. At every meeting, we have about an average of a little less than 15 members coming to our meeting. If you look at your agenda, we have 15 roles to fill at every single meeting. We also have, if you look at the top of your agenda, we have 8 board members, which means 1/3 of our active members are participating in leadership roles. In my experience, that's not sustainable. I sit on a number of boards, some that are somewhat similar to ours. And in my past, I have some experience with recruiting. When I was in college, my fraternity faced these same sort of problems. And over a course of years, we figured out a solution. And that is essentially that we formed strategic partnerships. One of the strategic partnerships that I personally formed was I worked at an area where there were a lot of underclassmen coming in every day. I managed the dining halls for people to get into a social climate at a university where they don't have friends. I'm proposing that we develop a committee to approach strategic partnerships for the purpose of finding that symbiotic relationship. I know of a couple off the top of my head. Hood College is one that recently dissolved their public speaking group, and there are a number of others. But I don't have all the relationships. I need your help. We also don't know how many we need to contact in order to make one good connection. I need your contact, so anyone who does have a relationship that they think would be a good match for us, please let the committee know. And then secondly, I need people to join me on this mission, and specifically those that are either interested in sales or have sales experience, because we're going to have that mentality in order to find and cultivate these relationships. So after the meeting, please let me know if anybody is interested in that.
This is going to be interesting because I actually practiced this with a PowerPoint behind me. So now, there's nothing back there. We're going to have to adjust.
It shows how flexible Toastmasters are.
Yeah. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and parents. The topic of my speech revolves around being unemployed. Being told on a very cold day in January, you no longer have a job. Your last day will be on June 3rd. And at the time, you have a whole bunch of feelings going through you. You're angry, you're upset, and after escaping a number of those restructure events throughout my career, this was brand new to me. And once I got over the surprise, it took me about, 3 days to get my profile on LinkedIn set up, public to all the recruiters out on the internet, resume already ready to go. Unfortunately, that's not enough. You go out there, have a couple of interviews, and you're like, okay. Let's see, what am I going to do now? See, for me, I've been in the industry supporting technology organizations. I'm a finance manager, support technology. Been doing it for 20 plus years. It's exciting, it's wonderful, it's a beautiful thing because technology changes every 6 seconds. So there's something new to learn every single day. And when something moves that quickly, you're very difficult to get rid of. Because not only do you have to keep up with that, but people are going to need